So tip number 1 has to do with setting up the bridges on the guzheng. As you can see, when I'm lifting up the strings, there's tension coming from the strings pulling down on my index and middle finger. So what I recommend using are band-aids, one for your index and one for your middle finger. This is because the band-aid will help to protect your fingers from the force of the strings and lacerations that come. So what you want to do is place the cotton part of the band-aid onto the meaty part of your index finger and wrap the band-aid around. Repeat this step with your middle finger. So after I finished setting up my guzheng in the last video, my index and middle fingers were swollen for about 2 days. And it wasn't until 2 weeks after I finished setting up my guzheng that I noticed a bunch of tiny cuts where my fingers came in direct contact with the strings. So this band-aid will definitely help protect your fingers from what happened to me. So now, as you can see, with the band-aids on your fingers, there's a lesser chance of injury. Tip number 2 has to do with tuning your guzheng. So if you saw in my previous setup video, I was scared to use the tuning wrench, but actually what I recommend is using more of the tuning wrench. So now looking at a tuner, I'm plucking the 12th string, which is a B. As you can see, the red line is it's close to the 0, but not quite. So if the tuner is close to the 0, but not quite, that's what I would recommend using a tuning wrench for, as opposed to moving the bridges. Also, if it's from the 8th string forward, basically every string other than 1 through 7, then don't be afraid to move the tuning wrench. I was scared that if I did move the tuning wrench too far, it would break the strings, but the only brittle strings are from 1 to 7. So looking at the tuner here, this is when I would move the bridges as opposed to using the tuning wrench. My third tip is to do research, whether that's maybe looking up videos of people setting up their guzheng or simply just taking notes. Knowing the process beforehand definitely helps. I'll link some of the videos that helped me a lot in the description box below, or you can go check out my last video to see basically what it's like to set up a guzheng.